Best Buy stock is on the rise after first quarter profits beat expectations. Oppenheimer's senior retail analyst Brian Nagel has a perform recommendation on the world's largest consumer electronics retailer. He joins us now from his office trading floor here in New York. Brian, welcome to Bottom Line. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Brian, in your note today, your quick read called today's Best Buy numbers a relief rally, but no turning point. Why?
Well, I think that's exactly what it is. I think this expectation is probably near term, got too beaten down. The company came out with what was a not so bad report, and the stock's up today. But as I look through the components of that report, obviously the company had its conference call earlier today. So I look through, what they're saying is I don't see a real significant turning point in the fundamentals of the business here. I think the company overall continues to struggle in a very challenging environment in the consumer electronics space.
Struggling how so?
Well, a couple fronts. I mean, one, you have a weak product cycle. Obviously, as they indicated in their press release, and as we pointed out in our note, smartphones are doing well, but sales of TVs continue to languish. Laptop computers are weaker, and other categories such as entertainment software are very weak. So the product cycle is challenging for them. I think they're also facing a lot of, or much stronger headwinds competitively. We've seen what companies like Amazon have done on the internet, as well as Walmart always remains a big factor out there as well.
Brian, a big part of Best Buy's strength was a 12% jump in online revenue. Do you expect that to continue as Best Buy scales back its retail space?
I think so. I think it's a function of what Best Buy is doing internally, as well as where the consumer's going. So you have consumers. We see this really across my coverage universe. Retailer consumers are more and more shopping online and kind of picking and choosing when they go online, when they go to the stores. I think Best Buy is doing a good job of capitalizing upon that.
Brian, if I might then make a comparison, could this possibly be consumers? Obviously, when you're online, you're in the comfort of your own home, but there's also that specter of higher gas prices. Why waste the gas driving to the store when you can sit on your couch drinking a cup of coffee, ordering stuff online?
I think that's probably a factor. I don't think it was a huge factor in Best Buy's Q1 release today, but I think to some extent it was nonetheless a motivation behind consumers shopping more online.
Is that why Best Buy saw same-store sales falling 1.7%? Is the primary focus now the online shopper?
It's mixed. We've seen weakest sales trends at Best Buy for a while. So I think the weaker sales trends, to some extent reflects people going online, but also goes back to what I said before. Where the product cycle is weak in certain categories, very weak. So I think that's also weighing upon their in-store sales.
Brian, you're increasing your fiscal year 2011 and fiscal year 2012 earnings per share target by a nickel. Why?
Well, the company, look, the results say they did top our estimate by EPS by 2 cents. They bought back more stock in the first quarter than I initially expected them to, so kind of rolled that forward through the year. But, keep in mind, there are offsets to those factors. Like you said, we saw weaker sales, maybe better than expected, but still soft relative to otherwise in retail. And I think probably the biggest blemish, if you will, on Best Buy's results today was their gross margins, which show that they had to, in order to get those sales, they had to basically act more promotionally.
Brian, let's take a look at today's overall retail sales number. Excluding autos, that number did rise slightly. Were you expecting a decline in that number because of high gas prices?
Actually, I don't forecast that number specifically. As I look across my retail coverage universe, look, I think things are pretty good. I've been kind of a consumer bull for a while now.
Yep.
So I was expecting things would look pretty good. Remember, we've heard from a lot of these retailers already